What's up, passionate DJs? Today we're unboxing a great controller for beginner DJs, the Hercules Universal DJ. That's right, Hercules specializes in beginner DJ gear, and that is the case with the Hercules Universal DJ wireless DJ controller. And we can learn a lot about this controller simply by looking at the box. So let's go ahead and do that first. Now on the front it says one controller, 3 modes, so we'll come back to that. And it says Universal DJ because it supports PC, Mac, iOS, and Android using the packed-in software. So one of the things I want to talk about, it supports the 3 different modes. So what are we talking about? Well, it's got your typical laptop mode. This is your typical controller setup where you're using the hardware to control the software via the laptop. Then you've also got a multi-screen mode. And this actually lets you use sort of like an additional screen, a second screen on your portable device in addition to the laptop. And I've never actually used that, so in the full review, when we come back to this thing in a week or so to do the full review video, I really look forward to seeing how that multi-screen mode works out. Maybe it's used for sampling or other different things like that. And then there's just the straight up tablet mode for iOS or Android, and this is just to use the software app in the, directly. So you'd be playing directly just like you would off of the laptop. It's got an auxiliary input, which is nice for a controller of this level. It's got 16 pads built in right here above each of the jog wheels. And these jog wheels are actually touch sensitive. So they do recognize when you touch them. We'll have to see the quality of that in the full video. Of course, it does come with that software, and it's Bluetooth enabled right off the bat. So if I'm correct, I think you don't have to connect any cables to this thing to DJ off of it using any of these modes except for power. Looking around the back, they just talk a little bit more about the multi-screen mode, the laptop mode, the different ways that you can use the Hercules Universal DJ. Now, Hercules has been working in this market segment for a long time. They're really dedicated to helping newer DJs get into DJing in a painless way. And Hercules has really run that market for a long time. And so I'm really looking forward to seeing what the Universal DJ has in store. So let's go ahead and dig in to this thing. All right, you know our favorite part, new controller smell. Okay, everything is well packaged as you would expect, as you would hope. All right. We will set this box aside here for a moment. And let's see the pack-in software and documentation here. Okay, we've got a CD-ROM here that has the Juiced software, version 1.1, if you even have a CD-ROM drive on your machine anymore. Warranty information and legalese, blah, blah, blah. And then we actually have a pretty nice glossy manual here. It's not in color, but it's nice, it's thick. It's got a glossy cover, and so it explains the tablet mode, multi-screen mode, how to pair the Bluetooth device, and all that kind of stuff. So I'm sure I'll be giving this a quick rundown when I do the full review to make sure I don't miss anything for you. And we missed some stuff here, so we've got maybe a quick start guide. Oh, just another explanation of the different modes. This is actually really nice material, nice glossy brochure. And it is kind of a quick start for each mode. So mode 2, multi-screen mode. Step 1, connect your controller, then select the multi-screen mode at the back of the controller, start the DJUCED app, and so on. So basically you have no excuse to not know how to use this thing because it comes with all the information you need, hopefully right here, which I'm sure is the goal. And here is the star of the show. Okay. Oh, of course we have the standard USB-A cable right there. All right. So as far as the weight and the heft, actually it's heavier than I thought it would be. It's still pretty light. Of course, it's very plasticky. That's kind of what you expect at this price point. There's not a stitch of metal on here, I don't think. its kind of thin form factor and the way that it's molded here into this shape kind of gives it a rigid feel, which I kind of like. It doesn't feel flimsy at all. The button feel, pretty good, a little mushy. It's not clicky at all. The faders do feel a little bit plasticky. And honestly, most beginner DJs, they don't need anything too fancy in that department, so it makes sense that they wouldn't put like super high-end, Magvel faders or Inna faders in here. The crossfader is just slightly more loose than the up faders. None of these buttons click, actually. Actually, all these buttons have pretty good feel. When I say they're mushy, I mean that they don't have a hard response like an Akai pad or something like that, but they don't click either. They're somewhere in between where they just kind of mush in. The knobs all feel really good, really solid. They're comparable to something like a Control S4, something like that. It has this really big, I'm going to assume this is a browse knob in the middle, almost like the focus of this controller here. It's actually really nice, really firm and solid. The pitch faders are a little short, but probably plenty to work with for most beginner DJs. Of course, and then here at the top, you've got a couple different modes. You've got Scratch, Record, and Magic. And I don't know what Magic means. Scratch probably puts these jog wheels into a scratch mode, though it does say they're touch capacitive, so I would assume that that would be to put them in scratch mode, maybe by touching the top instead of the sides. So I'm not sure why they would have a separate button for that, so we'll get to that in the full review and figure out why that is. Now, looking around here on the back, this is something that'll be a little different than most controllers you see. You've actually got a Bluetooth pairing button right there, so you can pair this to your device, and then you've got your standard USB cable right there, or USB jack right there. You've also got a little Kensington lock right there, so if you want to keep it safe. I've never actually seen it with this little tiny rubber protective flap there. That's kind of nice. Then you've got your auxiliary in, so if you want to plug your phone or something like that in, or a CDJ or something, some external source. And then you've got actually a mix out, a record out, and that's got RCAs right there. And then on the front, you've got your 1/4 inch jack for your headphones, and a actually button initiated volume, which is kind of interesting for that. I don't think I've ever seen that on a DJ controller before. Up above the pads, you've got Cue, Effects, Sample, and Loop. I'll go ahead and get a couple of shots of this. Your Cue, Effects, Sample, and Loop here at the top. And then here in the middle, you've got your indicators kind of telling you which mode that you're in and the status of your Bluetooth device. Here's that big browse knob I was talking about. And then you've got a 3-band EQ. So some budget controllers, including Hercules controllers, are 2-band, but this is a 3-band. The jog wheels actually feel a lot heavier than I thought they would. They're pretty hefty. And we've got our shift, sync, cue, and cue play buttons down there. Pretty much all there is to it. The finish of this thing is surprisingly nice. The black matte plastic has this kind of texture to it. It doesn't exist in the middle, but it does out here, kind of a sideways grain that probably doesn't properly show up on the camera there, but actually looks really nice in person. So I think that's pretty much all there is to see for this unboxing video. I'm really looking forward to actually tearing into this thing and seeing what Hercules has to offer. I also have a lot more Hercules related videos coming out in the next couple of weeks. Like I said, I was recently at NAMM, and I actually had an opportunity to speak with some representatives from Hercules and talk to them a little bit about their lineup. So we'll probably go visit other pieces of Hercules hardware soon. But for now, enjoy this video and look for the full review coming soon.